We are live. All right. So both of our flights are delayed. We're going different places, but we're both in the Tampa Bay airport, and there's not a lot going on. Sorry, I'm just adjusting the tripod.
There's nothing going on.
There's also nobody in the chat right now. So we'll see how long, because I didn't promote anything.
It's a 9 o'clock stream, so
Yep.
early morning for some of you.
Yeah, but it's Saturday. No, we got 3 people already.
It's
Yeah,
early
blow up the
morning.
chat. Hey, Pepoid52. What's up? So, what are we talking about? We need to talk about something.
This is your stream.
I know.
I'm just gonna, that's what
Hey, NRF 2005. Hey, Chase Elliott 9. Hey, Max. So, this is fun. We got 39 people in here.
Good morning.
Oh,
guys.
God, everybody's blowing it up now. Oh, hey, everybody got the notification. Hey, Christopher. Hey, random stuff. Patrick. So, we're in the Tampa Bay airport. We decided to get up at the crack ass of dawn this morning because we thought, like, you know, with the world situation right now,
we should
don't-
have expected delays. We
Well,
should have expected this.
the delays I was expecting were going to be in the line through security,
Yeah.
and we haven't even gone through security yet. We're just sitting here.
It's not even my flight leaves at like. It was gonna leave at like 2.
Yeah.
So I can't even drop off my bags.
He can't even check his bags yet. Yeah, things are definitely not going as planned. But I guess I said this on Twitter. Like, you know, don't worry about me too much because there's like other people who like don't have a platform.
Yeah, there's a lot more going on.
I mean, if you're like a freelancer who like relies on taking photos at a racetrack to make income, if there's no racetracks to take photos of,
Yeah.
you're in trouble. Like, you know,
I mean, there's no events to take photos of. You could be a wedding photographer, and there's,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, it's
Well,
just,
those of us on YouTube have an advantage in that we can just make content about whatever the hell we want. By the way, thank you, Daryl, for $5. I definitely tried this weekend.
definitely try.
I wish, you know, it's weird. What a weird situation this has been. I do want to say that we got him to 1,000 subs
you,
last
guys.
night. He's like way over now. He's almost at 1,500, right?
Yeah, we're-
So Kyle will be able to monetize content, which is great because there's more people that we can now have in this racing community who can actually make some scratch doing it, and obviously, you know, I don't want to say people do this for the money, but I think having money as like as a reward for making good content will just.
I did the Rolex. You know, I don't think I broke even. I'm definitely not breaking even this weekend. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's not a big deal because it's just passion for the sport, you know. And you got to start somewhere, you know. So it's just like,
Well, yeah. I mean, part of it is just being there.
yeah.
I mean, that's what I've really found. I mean, it wasn't like I was making a bunch of money doing this until, you know, just recently, and it seemed like a bunch of money. I don't think is even fair. I mean, I make a living, but you know, it's not like I'm rolling in the dough, so to speak. So,
Well, we got some questions. So.
oh, do we have questions? What do you expect of McLaren? Yeah, so yeah, I'll scroll up on the. Okay, so do you agree with the main? So this is Mass Racer. Do you agree with the main reason for racing to cancel was because of the travel? Yeah, that's what it is.
I think
Because
that
the
was
travel
main
ban.
reason. That was the main reason for I think WEC and IMSA, because I think WEC and IMSA they had a specific reason. I think the EU ban was really
Well, and as we
biggest
talked-
nail in the coffin.
And as we talked about last night, IndyCar. That should have been when IndyCar banned.
Yeah, IndyCar should have canceled right then and
No.
there because we waited so long and so many people could have been on flights. Thursday
and,
night.
and maybe NASCAR could have gotten away with it, but they still canceled. So
Yeah,
with-
if you tag NASCAR,
Yeah.
the Xfinity cars were loading off the trailers. There was
I wish
supposed
this,
to be a
can
race.
the chat just stay up all the time? There we go. With IndyCar calling up Coda, do you think it's pretty much guaranteed that Texas will be postponed for NASCAR? Yeah, NASCAR's not happening until May. I'm telling you.
I don't think they're happening until IndyCar happens.
What are you hearing about the main? And sounds like it's going to happen. Sounds like it may be one of the first racing events back.
Yeah, we have to act. We have to act like it's as if it's going to happen right now and be optimistic.
What do you expect of McLaren in Indy this season? I think they'll be all right. They were pretty fast in testing.
Unless Fred has a
let's see. Do you think that it sucks that they canceled NASCAR? Yeah, of course it
Yeah.
does. Nobody wanted them to cancel races.
After
Nobody
the
wanted
racing,
this.
what's funny is after the racing was canceled, we were still gonna fly out on Monday and just do content. Like we were gonna get creative. We were gonna like do race reviews like in a Walmart. Like we were gonna still have fun with it.
We were gonna try it. Yeah, I mean that's just the disappointing thing is that we had even with the situation, if they're gonna run the race, wet cars are trapped in Sebring. Yeah, we could have gone over there. I could have stolen a TSC 50 Toyota, but I don't know, man.
We still were gonna just, go to like the auto parts section of a Walmart.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we were gonna try to do some crazy stuff and just try to make it entertaining and fun and lighthearted.
Even when we get to the point where it's like, oh, we can't go to the race and cover it, even if it's no fans, then we're just like, we can still cover racing.
So Curtis, here's the thing about Monaco Indy 500 Coke 600. It doesn't sound like Monaco's going to happen this year. So and I don't know what will happen with Coke 600. So I mean, the only thing that I've heard is the intention is the Indy 500 to come back or be the next thing. Now, whether that means the Indy GP, I don't know.
I would hate to see the Indy GP.
And something was funny? I saw a comment earlier about Scott McLaughlin that because Australia has like banned things for 500 people, he could run for the IndyCar Championship if he wanted to.
Yeah, he said it this morning right when I woke up.
Yeah.
I was like, any days, just like, I'm more just waking up, man.
So that would be interesting. Indy 500 is either going to be canceled the first race of the year. I think it's going to be the first race of the year. I don't know about. Looks very empty in the airport. Yeah, that's generally what I think a lot of people are saying. It's mainly just people who are here for the races. Really, I've seen a couple.
And you look at the boards for the delayed arrivals, just lighting up like a Christmas tree of delays and cancels.
Yeah, both of our flights are delayed. I know my flight's on the way.
Yeah, both of ours are delayed by about an hour.
I think NASCAR should hold an iRacing race and televise it. Yeah, that's going to happen. I mean, this is the thing, and I'm actually going to make a bigger video about this, but I guess I'll talk about it a little bit here, is that eSports are definitely going to boom here for a little while. The one thing that I guess my concern is, and again, I'm going to expand on this in a video later, is that I don't think it's it's going to be a substitute right now, and the thing that I'm concerned about with eSports is that it's going to be a poor substitute, and I don't mean that as a disparaging comment to eSports. I just don't think it's going to be something that I don't think people, as soon as real racing comes back, they're not going to care about like virtual racing as much. Like people are going to care about it now because there's literally nothing else, and Lando Norris and Colton Herta and Simon Pagenaud all in the same race, Yeah. So
one thing someone brought up, and the thing I brought up last night, is this is Jimmy Johnson's final season. And Chad,
I'm on the Tampa International Airport.
I like it.
It's not bad.
Not bad.
I don't know if I think I might like Orlando better.
Yeah.
So I've been
There's
into
that big like Tampa-based sports and store like golf.
Yeah, we went in like the two stores that they have here.
The one thing, Chad Reed's going to make a comeback next season because he's missing all these races. What does Jimmy do? Does he go out like this with half the season?
It depends how many races they cancel, I guess.
Yeah.
They've only canceled Atlanta, right?
Yeah. Well, I think they've canceled. They might have canceled.
They delayed Homestead. Do you think you will still be karting?
We don't know yet.
Good question. I have no idea. Do you know what the thing about karting is? That doesn't even really happen until the summer anyway. So, are they going to cancel WrestleMania? That's a great question. Because we are in Tampa. That's where WrestleMania is happening.
And we watched WWE last night.
That was strange. That was strange because they did it in the WWE Performance Center where they have like stands, but it's really only because it's supposed to be like a simulation.
Yeah. I think this might have. I don't pay attention that much, but it might have been where they have.
Oh, Oliver Askew's here. Oliver Askew in the chat. Hey, I'd expect back-to-back race weekends this summer. Okay.
Maybe that whole summer stretch for NASCAR and IndyCar for the Olympics is gonna shrink.
Well, that's the thing. Is that I was gonna say this, and I don't want to be a jerk about it because I know the TV partner really wants that Olympic break. But to me, screw the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like screw the Olympics. I don't care.
Well, actually,
I didn't care before.
No, since it's Olympics is where is it this year?
Oh.
Yeah. Who knows if that'll happen?
I don't remember where it is. Is it China? It's not China, is it? No, that was last time.
I don't know, but who knows if that.
Tell me where the Olympics is, people.
The Olympics could be in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Someone said screw the Tokyo.
No way.
Tokyo.
Not happening.
No way.
Not happening.
No
Not
way.
happening.
No way.
So that's the thing. So if the Olympics don't happen, which they probably shouldn't, yeah. So yeah. Well, I want to talk about Oliver's point because it's kind of interesting. So back-to-back race weekends. That's going to be. So they're going to have to schedule it pretty. It's going to be pretty tight. It's going to be tough on the teams. I mean, the IndyCar schedule is already pretty taxing.
Back to back to back to back. Let's count this. Back to back to back to back to back. 5.
Oh, was that what Oliver said?
There were 5 backs.
Yeah, he's got 5 backs. So yeah.
We don't get that a lot in IndyCar. It's usually if we get continuous race weekends, it's like 3.
So JW V Dub says bad timing for Roger Penske. Yes, but good timing for the series. I've said this to a couple of people. I don't even know if I've said it on video yet. IndyCar has been very lucky to have these disasters happen right after changes that essentially saved the sport. So
on Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, so in 2007 you had the merger right before the economic crash. So imagine if you had Champ Car and IndyCar coming into the end of 2007 with 2 16-car grids, and the economy crashes. What happens? And especially Champ Car, which was already on like the decline anyway. They relied on street circuits. Street circuits, are like taxpayer funded, so that would have been really, really tough on them. Speaking of street circuits, and this is the thing that really annoyed me last night, was people were saying stupid. Well, Mark Miles kind of like shot his mouth off that I didn't think was a really great idea, was where he was just like, I don't think we're going to do Long Beach.
I just saw another article that said Long Beach is still trying for it.
Yeah, Long Beach
so it's
is
like Long Beach is trying to reschedule, and Mark Miles is like, no.
Well, it should. I mean, the situation, especially if you do it right after Laguna, with all the cars already out there, you got Portland, Laguna, and then do Long Beach, and have Long Beach be the season finale. Yeah. And so if you have 100,000 people at Long Beach for the season finale, that'll be excellent television. And so, I mean, and you can't be concerned about effing NFL or the Olympics. Like, you need to realize that, like, any conventional wisdom when it came to putting events on, is like, you can't listen to the Boston Consulting Group from 2014.
Yeah.
Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson reunite? Probably not. What do you think is the right amount of cars for the Indy 500? Well, 33. I think he's probably talking about the entry list, though.
A good entry list, I would want
like 50 cars. I mean, really, I would want like 50. It never happened, but
I think ideally, if we're just going, by a realistic number, I would say 36. I like it, 3 cars in the bump.
2011 was, where you had like 7 cars going home.
Sure.
Because that was fun. I mean, it was really fun. I mean, so
I'm still looking like what we've seen. What it's the most realistic though.
Oh, realistic? Yeah. Now? Probably. We'd be lucky if we have a bump now, because I don't know. I mean, I guess the one thing
I like 36 because then you get out of that realm of people saying we need 12 rows.
Well, that's going to happen
we need to
anyway.
Be able to start.
Well, here's the thing about car counts, is that unless things really change and a lot of sponsors want to break their contracts, things aren't going to change this year. It's going to be next year and the year after that where sponsors are going to have to because they've either committed that money or they've already paid the money to the teams, and they're not going to really want to face a lawsuit from a racing team for just skipping the payment. But the next couple of years where they may have the freedom to cancel those contracts, that's where I'm worried for.
Also, if anyone has track pass, I just saw someone say WRC is happening, but if anyone has track pass, the Daytona 200 is on.
No perks. Wait, the Daytona 200 is still happening?
Yeah, no fans, I think. That's what I heard. But it's still happening. Could have gone to that.
Roger will bail everyone out this year. Well, I don't know if he will bail people out, but I know he's going to pay the Leader Circle payments this month. This and the next month. So March and April. Laggy stream.
Well,
yeah. It looks good on my screen.
Yeah. I keep looking down at the chat on my phone.
Hey Max, Toronto is a street race. Well, hopefully Toronto won't be affected.
Someone asked if we were going to Detroit because it was the last year race.
Yes,
Or maybe.
I was planning on going to Detroit. Again, who the hell knows?
Yeah.
But
Go to
the
as
plan
many
was
as
to
you
go to
can.
Detroit. Because that's right after Indianapolis, and I have a place to stay in Michigan.
Yeah, you do.
So, and even if I have to get an Airbnb closer to Detroit for like 2 days,
That's Detroit's closer to me than it is Indy, so it's like, why haven't I ever gone? I have no idea.
because it's Belle Isle.
Friday's free for fans too. I don't know why. I've never just drove down on Friday.
Because it's Belle Isle.
No, who wants to go to Detroit? You're right.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I'm going to sound like a gigantic boomer here, but I'd rather have it at MIS, Michigan Speedway.
If I had $1 for the amount of times David said, I'm going to sound like a boomer here, but
Yeah. Come on, Michigan 500, bring it back. You can still run in Detroit. I'm not
I think
against Detroit.
I think the problem people have with Belle Isle is the doubleheader.
Well, that's the thing.
I think
Is
that's
that,
one of the problems people have.
well, the reason it's a doubleheader is because they have a contractual obligation with the title sponsor, which is they have to run so many races,
Yep.
and they keep canceling races, or not canceling races, but like knocking races off the schedule. So it's like they could have had a 17 race season this year if they kept Pocono, but they didn't keep Pocono. So it's like, dang, that airport is empty. Yeah, you're right.
I wish that had departures on it.
Of course, we're not through security yet. We're on the other side of the,
Oh, yeah.
we're on the other side of the thing because we haven't even gone through security yet. Because otherwise we wouldn't be able to. Because he's got to check his bag, and he can't check his bag for what 3-4 hours. Like
11.
he has to check his bag
We're probably
when
gonna
I'm
split
taking
up
off.
by then, so.
Yeah, so that's why we're doing this now. I just wanted to like kill an hour, and
So
we're
I'm
like
the-
15 minutes into this.
So I'm the camera guy, so I gotta have the big
Please
tripod.
please keep doing Cars movie diecast reviews. That was a while ago.
Oh yeah.
That was when I was like struggling to find out what my content needed.
If you ever want fun, go search the oldest videos on David's channel. They're great.
IndyCar needs a 2-mile oval on the schedule. I agree with that.
Yeah, we need more ovals. Period.
Yeah. Because the 1.5 mile ovals, like some of them are good, but I don't know how the Indy cars would race on the Daytona 200 is postponed.
What?
That's what Chris.
Okay, I guess it makes sense. I was going off my friend in a DM who lives in Daytona. So.
IndyCar back to Phoenix. No, they
I was
ruined
at-
Phoenix.
I was at the first 2016 race.
Maybe if they ran
and
it in the day.
And trust me,
The problem is The problem is to me is, first of all, they ruined the track. They put too much. So the problem with Phoenix is when they changed it, they added banking, but they didn't add enough banking that turned it into like an Iowa. So they ruined it as a flat track. They didn't add enough banking to make the race, make it actually a 2-groove racetrack. So I don't know who was designing that track. It was, I mean, they designed it literally just to have a shortcut gimmick bull crap, which the Indy cars couldn't even use anyway. So it's like, and then they ran it at night so that the cars produced a bunch of downforce and
yeah,
made it single
I
file.
was there in 16.
Because the lights
wasn't
races
cool.
the lights races they ran weren't too bad there because they ran them in the day and it was hot and the
Yeah.
cars would like slid around and they could pass each other. But
That was a fun race.
Yeah.
The lights cars always produce better race. Usually.
Swedish fan here, way to go, David. Thank you. Thank you from Sweden. Well, of course, a couple of rooting interests there now. I mean, a lot of Swedish IndyCar fans, I'm sure. What happens if you say the C word during a live stream? I don't know. I think
Super
five
chat.
5 points said how did you see a super chat before I did?
Because
$9.99. Indy 500 could be a sellout with pent out demand. Absolutely. I think so. I need to tell Michael to buy the tickets. I don't think he's bought the tickets yet, so get on that, Uncle Juan.
my tickets shipped yesterday.
2005 St. Pete race tomorrow. I don't know. So I do want to stream some classic races on here. I might reach out to some of my contacts at IMS Productions to like clear that we can do that, but we'll see. I definitely like to do it. That's one of the things I would like to do. Is get like some celebrities in to like help commentate the race. I'm sure if you're still watching, Oliver, there's your invitation. But you know, and we could get like a Discord chat going or something, and you know, maybe something we do something like that. I mean, I'm thinking a lot of, you know, I'm trying to think of a lot of different social media engagement things, and I guess one of the advantages of this, you know, bad situation is that we can like everybody can kind of band together and we can kind of like pull in the same direction. How much of a percentage does the Indy 500 need to generate compared to the rest of the series? Oh, lordy. Percentage of Indy 500 versus the rest of the series? 100%? Well, if it's 2005, you have to do it on MySpace. Well, no, we're talking about the 2005 St. Pete race. Allow IndyCar to race Chicagoland again? Would that race be any good if they race Chicagoland? Or would it suck?
I don't know. The oval race, the super speedway races right now with this oval package is hit or miss.
The problem is that they ruined Texas. I think Texas is.
Yeah.
The problem is Texas is not a good track anymore.
It's hard to blame the cars on Texas anymore.
Any thought on Fontana for IndyCar again? I think Fontana would be awesome, especially with the current package, because it's low downforce.
Look at the old DW12 package at Fontana. It was not the pack racing we saw with the Aeroscreen. So
Yeah.
it was more closer.
And one of the reasons that 15 race was such a pack race was because they thought it was going to be way cooler than it was. So they thought it was going to be really hot, and it ended up being cool. So they packed a bunch of downforce on the cars, and then they ran.
The cool thing about that race
time.
was it wasn't a true, flat out pack race because you could only run the bottom for a couple laps until the tires wouldn't allow you to, and they were having to lift at some parts of the track. I remember that was the thing Graham would talk about a lot. It wasn't an actual pack race. We were having to lift.
Yeah, and they could pass each other. I mean, that was the weird thing. It was like I don't know if I would want to see a race like that again.
I wouldn't want to see a race like that. I think that's too much. But I think, IndyCars at Fontana is not something that we look at.
It's weird.
It's not in regards to something like.
So here's something that's weird to me is like how come like the racing at Fontana has completely changed because I don't understand why they have like multiple grooves now.
Yeah.
Like if you go back and watch a race in the '90s, like there's really just one groove and they run around the bottom. Mm-hmm. And so the slow cars
way older surface. I don't think they've paved since then. You watch it back in the '90s, that's a brand new surface, and they could just run the bottom.
Yeah, but it also wasn't like an IRL race, like when kart ran there, because in the IRL they just ran around the white line the whole time. But the kart guys would go all, they would actually drive the track. They would go all the way out to the wall and then come in, So even with the Hanford device, which, so I don't know. Asphalt is old.
Do a video on the Hanford device.
Cleveland was the airport. Yeah, I wish they'd bring Cleveland back. If I hit the lottery right now, I would I'd buy the Berkeley Front Airport and just turn it into a permanent racetrack. Bro, I'm telling you, IndyCar at Atlanta. No. Last time they ran in Atlanta, they had like a huge 11 car pileup and they threw like 5 or 6 wheels into the stands. Thankfully, there was nobody in the stands.
Charlotte IndyCar the one.
Charlotte was the one where people got killed, but somebody got killed in the Michigan 500 too, and a tire flew into the stands. So that happened in a couple different places. Dan's a massive IndyCar fan from the UK. Love your channel and love your channel and watch every video. Thank you. In Fontana, they set the closed course record, but they weren't running any faster. I mean, the DW12 IndyCars don't run any faster at Fontana than they do at Indianapolis.
If anything, they'll run a bit slower.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the difference now versus then with this current package is I don't think they. So they used to mandate wing angles.
Toyota Corolla to the ranch.
Roger Penske builds a new track looking Tiburon. No, I don't think Roger Penske's going to be in the game of building tracks. He's kind of got the track now, so he doesn't need to do that. Are you playing Indy 500 Evolution again? Probably. I miss I miss NASCAR too. Diecast review should return. Maybe. Part of the problem with that is like the Copa.
He still buys a lot of diecast too.
I do. In fact, a Haviland truck. And I've got a bid. I'm not going to say what car I've got a bid on because then somebody will outbid me for it. Hey, there's a Formula E car.
Diecast.
Look at that. Yeah. So here's the Hot Wheels Formula E car. That's something that Kyle bought.
This is this week's treasures.
What else have we got?
Treasures this week. We got the 917 and an Alex Bowman.
So he bought a mystery pack Alex Bowman. There you go.
So we're still children in our free time.
And here's the
we're still
whatchamacalls it 917 LH.
We're going to sit here at an airport
that
play
car
with race cars on the table.
Now this car is actually in the Steve McQueen Le Mans movie.
Yep.
It's not featured very prominently, but
play
it's
with
in there.
my race cars on the airport table.
I will not do that. I will not do that. I remember when you reviewed some Authentics and you were dissing the people of Ball State. So
When was that?
So let's see. That was 2012. So I'll tell this. I'll tell that story. So here's the thing. So back in 2012, I thought I was a normie. So I was going to do college visits, and I went to Ball State to do a college visit, and they didn't. So we had scheduled a financial aid meeting, and they I don't remember exactly what happened, because this is stuff that just doesn't matter to me anymore.
Yeah.
But there was some financial aid meeting or something, and they either called it off or were just being difficult about it. They didn't. And so I was just like, F it for us, and we went to a Walmart that we're in Muncie, Indiana, and I found, because you have to realize back in these days, NASCAR diecasts were really hard to find in stores, especially the new waves. It was you would always see the same Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano cars from 2010, and that would be it. So I found two of the new wave cars, which were, I think, a Carl Edwards Fastenal, and then the blue Jimmy Johnson car, which we won the Daytona 500 with. And I reviewed those, and part of it was saying oh, hey, Ball State didn't really treat me all that well, but hey, I got something out of it because I got to make a
I wish I could say this. Isn't the joke of Ball State that if you go to Ball State, you can work for IndyCar? I did say that, yeah.
I've heard that. I've heard that. That's okay. So that comes from somebody. That's not me or him, but I have heard that before.
I really want to
I
say
have
that.
heard that. It's yeah. I've heard that before. I've heard that before. I think that's changing a little bit. I think that the new management, that's changing a little bit, but we'll see. There's a lot of, there's a lot of nepotism in the sport. Let's be honest.
Very honest,
It's a thing, no doubt about it. It's about who you know.
You can't ignore it.
Let's see. Thoughts on Newgarden? Would he still like to try F1 one day? I mean, I don't. This is the problem with F1 and IndyCar drivers. First of all, I don't think IndyCar drivers are really all that respected in the F1 circles. At least from the people who matter,
Yeah.
and by matter I mean the people who actually hire the drivers.
Well, the other thing too about who matters, it doesn't matter if the people from Haas F1 don't think they need American drivers. Haas F1.
Well, they can't win races anyway.
Well, yeah, the thing is, if Haas F1 hired an IndyCar driver, then that would just be wasted talent. What would they do in a Haas car?
They can't hire. So the problem with IndyCar drivers going over to F1 is that unless you're racing for Mercedes or Ferrari or Red Bull at the short tracks, you don't have a chance to win. And
The only
World
thing F1
Championship,
driver-wise, I will say, is get Romeo Grosjean the heck out of there and put Pietro in the car.
Fittipaldi.
Yes.
If they've stuck by Grosjean this long, I don't know. It's your favorite Finnish driver? Probably Kimi. Yeah, because I did spend $140 on a Kimi car.
You have to want Drive to Survive.
I gotta do
He
that.
talks about how it's just a hobby for him. He can do whatever he wants to. So funny. It's so great.
Replace Grosjean with someone more suitable. Yeah, but who wants to go drive for Haas though? That's the thing. Who's gonna willingly
Can you at least agree, even though it's stupid Haas is keeping him? Do you think you would agree to get rid of him?
get rid of
It's
Grosjean?
easy to say that they're not going to get rid of him because they've stuck by him for this long. But would you say that he should probably be gone?
It's the law of diminishing returns. I would say I wouldn't have stuck with Grosjean.
See,
I probably wouldn't have hired. I would have gotten Hulkenberg.
I think that's the point.
Could have, but they didn't.
But they didn't.
And I think Magnussen could develop into a good driver. If
Yeah,
they
yeah.
ever put him in he could podium in his first race.
Yeah.
So it's not like if you put Grosjean in a race-winning car, he's not going to perform. But he hasn't been in a super chat. Okay, we're waiting on the super chat because apparently Kyle's chat is faster than mine somehow. Haas is a Rick Ware Racing of F1. Hi, David. Oh, boy. Hi, David.
Haas actually shows up to the races.
So this is Arian Gomez. He says, "Hi, David. I was enjoying your Rolex 24 content. I was looking forward to being the trackside reports like what RacerGrid.com used to do. Keep it up, David. Thank you. Yeah, that's kind of... Now, I wouldn't say that that I'm really inspired by what Racer.com was doing. But I mean, I understand that like Marshall Pruitt, he used to do that for Racer.com, where he would give like updates. Obviously, can't do that right now. So yeah, I do. I mean, I understand that like there was a need for that. I'm glad I could provide that. But yeah,
The Rolex 24 content was really fun too, by the way.
yeah,
That was-
wasn't that nice when we could just
Yeah.
like go to a
That's
racetrack?
one thing we were talking about was like, probably we were asking for this because the Rolex 24 weekend just had like a few minor, bad things of it, but really it was just like a flawless weekend for being the first time doing that.
Magnussen has beef with Hulkenberg. That's right.
Oh yeah,
That's right. They probably picked.
Yeah,
that's-
but if you watch Drive to Survive episode 2, which episode 2 is really the only one you have to watch, but if you watch episode 2, Magnussen and Grosjean don't really like each other either. So,
well,
apparently Gunther Steiner will slam my door.
well, they probably know that they probably know how they can treat Grosjean and Magnussen now because they've had them on the team for so long. They probably wouldn't want to add a different element to that might cause even more havoc.
Or they both just have money.
Well, everybody in F1 has money. I mean, there's like what? So unless you're Hamilton or Verstappen or Leclerc,
It's Leclerc.
nobody's going to pay you. The one thing I was going to so I saw a couple minutes ago, somebody was talking about Indy 500 as a season opener. How weird that was. I mean, it's not totally unprecedented. Not so much from a they decided the championship there in '96.
I want to try and see if I can find a way to contact. But I would love to hear someone like Connor Daly's thoughts on running the Aeroscreen for the first time at Indy if that happens. Because there were people already. Connor was one of the guys that was super vocal before St. Pete of all the testing is what's the Aeroscreen going to be like after a full green flag stint. We've seen rubber build up on the cars, oil, everything. These guys go through 15 tear-offs on their helmets alone. I mean, it's just like there's so much we don't know about the visibility, and it's not a safety aspect of like we've tested that. I believe that they've tested and they figured out.
Here's the problem.
But it's just the visibility and what's actually going to happen during a live race.
Here's the big problem: is if you take the screen off and somebody gets hurt or killed at the 500,
That's the problem.
you can't do that. This is a big thing. A lot of this is PR.
Exactly.
Let's be honest. So they cancel all these races, especially once they ban the spectators. They could have gone on. But it's PR that they didn't, because otherwise Fox News and CNN would have been going after IndyCar and saying, "Oh, how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you do this? There was a national emergency." I mean, it's the same thing. So with safety, you would have the Jalopniks and the racers and maybe not so much the racers, but you would have the Jalopniks and the car blogs going after you. And Twitter would have blown up. Twitter would have. So you
see the reaction happening to like the Miami F1 race alone.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Can we confirm that?
I want to figure
Can
that
we
out.
confirm that?
Again, I want to ask. I just think it'd be super interesting to hear someone like Connor's perspective on that.
NASCAR drivers entered California Turn 1 at 217 miles an hour. I didn't know they were getting that fast.
Yeah.
Because I remember they were doing like 211 at Michigan. But
I do want to go back really fast about the whole PR perspective.
Yeah.
Because one thing to be noted that I kind of forgot to bring up yesterday was, yesterday morning, Indy Lights and Indy Pro 2000 sessions went on. I mean, rubber was burnt, fuel was burned, people were on track, and things were going to go ahead. That's how far things went ahead. The people who waited through the gate to get screened yesterday, things went on. Cars were unloaded at Atlanta. I mean, it's not like if things were canceled a bit earlier. If things were canceled at the same time as Sebring was, what should have happened, that would have saved the team so much time, money, and effort. It would have saved so much time. That's my rant on it. I mean, like, because it's all PR, like I said. I mean, you can't really argue, because the whole national emergency with the mayor having to take care of his people, you understand.
the mayor decided that the fans were going to be banned and that people were going to be screened. That was his decision.
Yeah.
It was Trump's decision to declare national emergency.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, you have to understand the serious decision to act, to be proactive towards those announcements and not be running not be the only series running a race when nobody else is. You don't want to be put in.
Well, you could have. I mean, if you'd done it, you would have had a hell of a TV rating.
could have had a hell of a lot of bad publicity too from it.
I don't know. I mean,
It had good and bad.
so
It
so I'll
could've
play
been
I'll play devil's advocate. I mean, any publicity is good publicity.
mixed. You're right.
So I mean,
You are right.
now that being said, we can't ignore some of the real situation
Yes.
here. So let me put it this way: who just bought the series? Roger Penske. So
Raj.
So when the president is Donald Trump and Roger is with Donald Trump and Trump gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, does Roger Penske really want to kind of give Trump the finger in that way, like, oh yeah, well, you declare national emergency, well, my series is still going to run?
Yeah.
He's not going to do that because he's going to make the president look stupid, or at least possibly cause a rallying cry.
You said, Donald Trump says jump, Penske says how high.
Yeah. Now, I mean, that's going to be how it is. Because I thought that Trump was going to come to the Indy 500
Yeah.
until just now. Probably not now. But
Probably not now.
Unless it's, well, here's the thing. If it's the first sporting event, the first major sporting event, like I said yesterday,
Yeah.
maybe Trump does come. Because,
It'd be huge. It'd be huge if it was like that.
because like I said yesterday, it could, if the 500 runs, be like a day of not only national healing, but
That's
world
just-
healing.
That's just my whole perspective of looking at it. It's just, what can you do about the decision to cancel? Nothing. But what you can look at is, hey, there was so much time wasted. So many people's time. People could have been on flights Thursday night. Trucks could have been. We've seen for the
Wow.
last night, even this morning, we saw IndyCar transporters leaving. Today they were heading southbound, which is weird, but still, we've seen IndyCar transporting.
Well, yeah, that was
transporters
weird, wasn't it?
Heading out.
I'll say this because if it's a public place. So we saw Ganassi haulers heading south. Why were they heading south in Florida? Is Ganassi really going to send everybody to Sebring? Because that's what I was kind of thinking. Are they testing? Because
We saw them. We literally saw them going northbound yesterday. We like the same haul.
because they're definitely not going to the tunnel. The tunnel's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
By
I
the
know
way,
Ganassi-
Chip Ganassi has a secret tunnel, everybody. Where he tests his cars. Did you
I
know
know
that?
Ganassi has like 4 haulers, right? They usually have 1 or 2 more than they do how many cars they have. And
Yeah.
it's like they have so many haulers, and we saw like 3 going northbound yesterday, and then 3 going southbound.
By the way, there was
Do
somebody.
they really have 6?
There was somebody who talked about the Jimmy Johnson barber test. That's
There was also
not going to
somebody
happen,
who
right?
talked about your first video being Lego Star Wars.
That's quite true. That is true. You can look that up. Tunnel Gate. I don't know if it's Tunnel
But
Gate.
yeah, let's talk about Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Because I brought that up like earlier in the stream. Not only is his IndyCar test probably not going to happen, but like, if let's say that that NASCAR doesn't happen until May 2, most of the races don't get made up. You think Jimmy Johnson says, "I'm not going out like this. I want to run a full season,"
Well, I mean, it's the same for everybody.
and then that would delay his IndyCar.
I doubt it. I doubt he comes back another season. I think he.
Doubt it.
Yeah. I mean, why would you?
You really want to look
$5
back?
from Oz Kitty Boy. Hey guys, drove back and yes, Miami F1 drama confirmed. As I was there firsthand, loved your content and wish we could have all been there in St. Pete. Yeah. Oz is he's a corner worker with the
Oh,
SCCA. I think you've met him before.
Yeah, I met him.
So
Met him at the Rolex,
yeah, he was going to come down for St. Pete. I think he did come down yesterday, and obviously nothing happened. But yeah, so and those are the kind of people that I feel bad for.
Yeah.
Are the corner workers and the volunteers and again the freelancers who don't like have a YouTube channel that they can just be like go live and talk to 170 people.
Outside of this, I do DoorDash, which is in jeopardy, as a lot of people's jobs are in jeopardy.
I feel like DoorDash is pretty safe.
Oh.
I feel like everybody, no one's going to want to leave the house to go get food.
Then again, there's a lot of people that don't want a random person delivering the food.
Maybe, but
They've all gone and got water and Chef Boyardee and
toilet paper.
toilet paper.
Lots of toilet
They're
paper.
gonna eat toilet paper.
Yep.
Yep.
You know, like NASCAR. What's that? You remember that NASCAR guy who was like, "They're still wrecking." Oh my God, Joey Logano just done wreck Kyle Busch.
Wasn't
Was
that
a
Larry
Clash?
Mack?
No.
Oh
No, the cable guy. Or not
Oh,
the cable
yeah.
guy, the plumber, Larry the
Yeah,
plumber.
the yelling guy.
So I followed him on Instagram.
These guys got heart rate monitors and these things.
Yeah. Well, I followed him on Instagram, and he made himself a toilet paper fort and was like standing in it, going like, "The hell, there's no sports, so I just made myself a toilet paper fort." It's like, God damn it, I hate this. I want my sports to come back.
At least he's got.
Oh my God, there's like a news broadcast going on over there right now. Like right over here. Let me move the camera if you can see it. Are we? Can I see it? So I think it's right here, right? So I could point.
This is a big production. Big.
Am I looking in the right direction?
She's like
Wait, are we going
here or something like that? Right, she'd be right there.
Yeah. So there's
right
like
there.
a news report going on.
See, this is
or
her
something.
right here in my
Yeah.
hands.
So we're not the only people live right now. Okay.
Right there in my hands. Boom.
Yeah. So look over in that direction.
Her.
And you'll see some sort of a newscast going on.
Okay.
So if they turn the cameras this way and you're watching some local thing in Tampa
If
Bay,
you're in Tampa watching from the local.
yeah, turn on the news right now. Yeah, everybody's delayed, so
I'll go do like jumping jacks behind her if you guys are actually, if someone actually watches.
yeah, let's go hold up a sign, like subscribe to Racing Nation TV.
Yeah. Now the camera's.
Oh,
crooked.
I know.
By the way, we have this set up on my tripod because cameraman rocks. Always come in handy.
Ultimate Dragon says you can do a heck of a Dale Jr. impersonation. What kind of things do?
We have a friend that does a better
Yeah,
one.
Killstonk does the better one.
Yeah.
But what sort of thing does Dale Jr. say? I could try to do it.
You know, he's got to say something and then you got to finish the sentence. You know, man, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, them big ass spoilers, man. You know what I'm talking about? You know, they're like 3 feet high.
I was looking on YouTube the other day, and I was just trying to find anything about racing. Just trying to find anything racing, man. Because that's what I like. I like short track.
After I'm done with Amy and the girls.
Boys, like
I don't know. Did you hear Boyer's impression of him during the Xfinity race in Daytona? It was pretty close, and it was very redneck.
some of you guys know I met Dale Jr. when I was covering the Rolex.
Oh yeah, that's right. They just casually like stood next to each other and like shot the shit in the pits.
It was literally like I was filming the Corvette driver change, and some dude walked behind me. I looked over my shoulder, and Dale's right there. I'm like, okay.
Steven's like, you gotta stay up after every word too. I say
Steve?
I do that anyway. That's how I talk.
What happened to Drayton? When did he leave? Let's give Drayton a shout out.
Great.
Yeah, our friend Drayton, DK Media, left today. He's a friend of ours from the Bahamas.
He lives in the Bahamas, yeah.
Yeah, so
we were actually going to stay with him at Sebring.
yeah, we were gonna stay with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably would have gotten to meet our friend from the Bahamas.
Yeah.
He's
He's pretty funny. He's good at memes.
He's qualified as a meme designer, literally. He's like our
What's the
Vin dog.
we sick
Vin dog.
the Vin dog on him.
But yeah, he's like our Vin dog. So DK Media, he's like one of the most talented graphic designers.
Can we talk about Barstool? Can we talk about Barstool? Because
I love Barstool.
so he made me listen to the Rubbins Racing podcast.
It's a great podcast, actually.
And yeah, I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. So yeah, the thing about Barstool is they are definitely the dude bros. But here's the deal. So to me, it was actually amazing because he was talking about the things I've been talking about, which are the traditional media outlets versus the non-traditional media outlets.
Everything Dave was saying about,
This way, it was a lot of my experience.
Yeah, it really hit home a bunch of times.
Yeah, I was like, man, this sounds like something I would say.
I just got flashbacks.
Yeah. Because I had said things like what Dave Portnoy said about, him versus Jim Utter, and I'm like, oh man, yeah. And yeah, that's exactly right. Because on the internet, like memes are a huge part of how we communicate.
Sick 'em Vin dog.
Sick 'em Vin dog. Yeah. Well, I don't think I would go so far as
like the things he was saying, like on the podcast live. It's like you just gotta if you hate him or love him, you just gotta respect the him saying whatever he wants.
Well, it's funny.
He's not afraid to go after something. He just says what he wants, and that's what it is. He just tells it how it is.
What I thought was funny about that was he said things like, he was like, I'm not gonna call Jim Utter fat, but he's fat, or something like that.
I don't know if he's fat or not, but he looks bigger. I might have to avoid him.
Well,
he
yeah.
looks strong. He looks like tough.
Yeah. So
I couldn't fight somebody, but I can definitely get in an argument.
is the flight delayed because of the C word? I mean,
like-
I think yes and no. I mean, I think the real thing is that just it's a weird time and people are
Yeah.
you know. I don't think that's totally why.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't say that's not because of the reason.
I like this one from Steven. Most underrated track you ever watched a race at? I'm gonna say
Ever watched a race at like on TV or like in person? Because I would say like Dover, where I liked Dover. I thought that was a really nice track.
I'm gonna say Mid Ohio, even though I live there. But I
Yeah,
think,
Mid-Ohio.
I think not a lot of people give that credit.
No.
Why are we frozen? Are we frozen on the stream chat?
We may well be. I don't know. Can you still hear us? Yeah.
Okay. But I think Mid Ohio, because I don't think a lot of people get that. If you're gonna say underrated, but what
I would say
going
Mid-
into that just randomly off the.
I would say
What's your favorite track?
Maybe
minus
favorite
Indy.
track?
Maybe minus Indy.
yeah, minus Indy. Road Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Road
can't,
Atlanta.
can't wait to go there. I hope that happens.
That's an amazing track. Road Atlanta. So to me, Road Atlanta has a perfect layout.
Really?
Yeah,
It's on a
it's
hill.
the perfect. Well, it's the perfect length. Get the perfect amount of elevation change. It's technical, but not too technical. It has a great flow. It has a passing zone at the turn 9A and 9B. It's fast. It's not a slow track. But Road Atlanta is and it's a beautiful scenery too. I mean, it's like it's like going to a race in a national park, national forest or something like that. It's really awesome. I love Road Atlanta.
I don't know if he has a favorite dirt track, but mine's definitely Wayne County Speedway in Ohio.
I probably
Worcester,
haven't been
Ohio.
to enough dirt tracks. I'm trying to think.
He's in.
I'm one of them pavement.
He's
And
in the
Black
north.
Flag Matter says, "Get home safe, Kings."
Thanks, Darian.
Yeah, you too. Did he get home yesterday? Darian, did you get home yesterday? Yeah, answer that question. I hope he's all right because I know he tried to get to Atlanta
Yeah.
and he didn't even get.
Well,
anywhere
he's
near the
farther
track.
away from home than we are.
That's true.
Yeah, he went west coast.
He's west to east. Oof.
But one last thing on the dirt track thing.
When do you think
he's a
he
northeasterner?
did? He got back, so that's good. Good for him.
Good. When's that
When do you
IndyCar
think?
Matters
When do you think?
channel?
Yeah, when's IndyCar Matters happening?
Yeah.
I want to
Need
hear that.
help.
I want to see that Stan Barrett.
Need any help?
I want to see the Stan Barrett video. There was something. Oh God, here we go.
Let me see. What is it?
Do you think? When do you think Jimmy does his Indy test? Does Jimmy do his IndyCar test?
This year might be too chaotic now, but it's just
Black Flag says tomorrow is when IndyCar Matters start.
good.
There you go.
Excited.
So subscribe to IndyCars Matter.
yeah, and then subscribe to Racing Nation TV.
Yes. Most sport is my favorite. It's a nice mixture of amenities and park feel. I'd love to race at Motorsport because that's where Challenge Cup runs. So, cosmic brownies or honey buns?
Cosmic brownies.
I'll agree with that. I don't really like either. I'm more of like a ding dongs guy. Like ding dongs or what are those peanut butter things? Like the peanut butter sticks?
Nutter butter.
No,
Bars.
no. The
like
Little
them.
Debbie's. What are those Little Debbie's with like they're like the chocolate bars with the? It's almost like a Twix, but it's like not a Twix. I don't know. McLaughlin will replace Power. I don't think so. I think
No.
I think if he replaces somebody, it'll be
I think Power retires that.
zebra cakes.
Zebra cakes are great. I like apples and oranges. Be a little healthy.
Nutty Buddies. Nutty Buddies.
I told you that.
I like those.
Like the Nutty Bars. It's literally
No, you said Nutter Butter.
okay. Yeah,
That's
I guess
different.
it is.
That's different.
Yeah, I like apples and oranges. You know,
Swiss rolls. That's not how you spell that, but whatever. Woo, car stuff. Whoa, car stuff. I don't know. When Ron Fellows took over Canadian Tire Motorsports track, improved the most. Yeah, Ron Fellows. Everybody likes Ron Fellows.
someone asked, "What do you guys think of the S5000 chip?" Have you seen anything on the S5000?
I've seen some of it.
Freaking awesome! I was like raving to my friend Chris Aurelio about it the other night, and like literally the cars sound great. Giancarlo Vizicella, Davison, Rubens Barrichello.
So-
it looks fun.
so
it looks like an open wheel.
It's
V8
okay.
supercars that I love.
It's okay. I mean, I'm not like super jazzed about it, but I'm also not. I wish the cars were a bit shorter. I think they're too long. They look a bit funny. I mean, obviously the halo doesn't look good, but that we have to accept that at this point.
I think the thing about the Halo, people have to realize in the safety aspect, it's not really for debris. It's more of people landing on top of each other, and I think that's mainly what the FIA was worried about. It seemed like that could still happen with the Halo, but it's like it's more cars landing on each other, which is something I've seen in IndyCar. You know, with Pocono. Remember Pocono when Rossi went over Elio and stuff? Like, there's things when Gateway, when Power went over Carpenter. It's like things like that.
So watch if you watch the 2005 Cleveland race.
Yeah.
Paul Tracy literally drives over the top of Sebastian Bourdais on the start of the race, like hits his helmet, like drives completely over his helmet.
Yeah.
And so
when Lotion went in the back of somebody at Houston,
that was that wasn't Houston, that was Toronto, and that was Montoya. He went underneath Montoya.
Yeah.
So it rained, like, and everybody's on slicks, and they all crashed in turn 3, and he just submarine.
And I know all the boomers are like, "Well, did anybody get hurt?" No, it's just it's just like if it can prevent it, then do it.
I mean, you've got to. The problem is you've got to. It's just a change we have to accept. I mean, that's. I mean, my grandpa used to talk about how great racing was when drivers wore T-shirts and they hung out of the cars and you could see them.
Yeah.
And it's fine. He was like, oh, it was more romantic back then, and I can't disagree with him, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I'm not really going to a race to see somebody get killed, and I'm certainly not going there to see some guy in a T-shirt get thrown out of a car and catch on fire. Next time, use the public Wi-Fi. No, the public Wi-Fi was worse than the 4G. Believe me. Shout out to Bud Kais. That's my brother.
Flag issue solved, Chris.
How do you not do that? Can you change that setting? No, you can't. So I hate the principle of the Halo.
It looks bad.
The principle of the Halo is to protect the driver's head, so I don't know how you hate the principle of it. You can hate the look, but
because I know back when F1 went back to those slope noses, they were really worried about cars, the slope of the nose, ramping the cars up and because the FIA worries about stuff like that. But I think cars laying on top of each other.
The FIA worries about stuff like that, but they won't worry about stuff like tractors on the track until somebody drives underneath. It's like.
And another thing I thought of, right, is I don't think Aeroscreen or Halo would stop. I think it would make it better, but think about, like what we've seen this year out of accidents and collisions when the car's upside down.
Where are y'all going to go if your flight gets canceled?
Help.
Well, I'm not worried about that because the flight's not going to get... The flight's on its way, as far as I'm concerned on mine. It's in the air, so I'm not worried about that. I was checking to see if I have an email or a text message saying, "Oh, your flight's..."
What if our flight gets canceled?
I'm sleeping at the airport. But I will say this. The outreach of people... I've gotten so many DMs from people who have been willing to help from Florida. I'm not going to name names, but there have been some... You know who you are. And I really appreciate that. So, again, I've tried to tell people, like, look, don't worry about me too much. Like, I'm going to be all right. Worry about some of the people who maybe don't have as many opportunities to,
someone
be safe.
The Halo to the Aeroscreen.
So that's an interesting point because I think especially on the F1 cars, fine. I think they fit in with the current F1 cars because the current F1 cars are so complicated and they have so much stuff just hanging off them, so many shapes that look like the Halo. To me, it's not a big deal. I think it looks fine. So, but on an S5000 car, the S5000 car is kind of a cleaner open wheel design, so it looks out of place. Like if you put a Halo on a Reynard, it would probably look stupid because that car is totally clean aerodynamically. There's two wings on it.
Safety.
Well, yes, safety. But we're talking about the looks. We that was objectively a question. What do you like about but an Aeroscreen evens that out. So an IndyCar is much more cleaner aerodynamically. So if you just put a Halo on it, it would look out of place.
I guess this has grown on me because I guess I'm a guy that sure the car, I want the car to look sexy, but it's I'm really interested in.
They look fine with the Aeroscreen.
I'm very, very interested in the details of
your
how
cute
this works.
couple. Shut up.
I'm more interested in how this works. What they've done to test it. What type of pieces are used on it. It would have been cool in that video that the audio didn't.
Would you want a screen on an S5000? I think it would look better. I mean, the thing that I would want out of S5000 is I would like, if they're using the V8 supercar engines, I would like them to open it up so that you can put a Holden in the back or put a Volvo in the back or a Nissan in the back. That'd be kind of cool. But I guess that would be against what they're trying to do. But Halo on a Van Diemen Formula Ford. Yeah, that's funny. So it's kind of weird to have driven an open wheel, open cockpit car in the middle of all of this cockpit protection. You don't think about it, but I thought about it later. Like, man, if somebody had lost a wheel or something, and I got beamed in the head when I was driving that car.
It's like, heck, I drove a supercart with no, and that's a cart that goes.
Ethan says not supercar engines. So what is it?
Oh,
is it like a small
I didn't say
block?
it was a supercar engines, but it's basically, to me it's a fun, like, to me V8 supercars is just like fun.
It's a Ford Coyote engine. So what does that mean? Is that
it's very big and bellowy?
I know, but what? So is it like a production block? I'm guessing it's like a Mustang engine or something.
I don't look that into it. I didn't watch the races, and I know it's very enjoyable.
Well, so I'm sure he will explain it to us here in a second.
I don't look that far into it. I just think the S5000 cars are cool. Good driving.
I like some of the tech though. I like. Isn't that what killed Henry Surtees years ago? Yeah, that was what I was going to bring up. But I think we got distracted. But it's the 5.0 from the Mustang, 565 horsepower.
It sounds like it.
So yeah, it's the 5.0 Mustang V8. So yeah. When are your flights? So mine's supposed to be like 12:18 or something like that.
Mine's at like 3 now. You got to check the Henry Surtees.
Well, no, that's what I was just gonna say. Was that the Halo maybe not smaller debris, but like it would stop a tire from going into a driver. So but the Henry Surtees accident happened 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Halo, why didn't the Halo happen then? It's like that's.
It's like I drove a super. Talk about like how you don't really think about it, in these open cockpit cars. I drove a supercar, the supercar with 250 engine
with no seat belts,
over 140, no seat belts, basically no protection. So it's
essentially a bike. It's like a MotoGP bike.
It's insane to think about stuff like that still happening to it.
There's a way to pay for supercars. Yeah, don't pay for supercars right now because everything's fucking canceled.
Let's get Motor Trend. Isn't that the way to do it?
Everything's canceled.
Oh,
why would you pay for streaming services when everything's canceled? That's why I'm disappointed that I got freaking charged for the $60 for NBC Gold the other day.
Yeah.
Halo on a MotoGP bike.
Halo on a.
Funny, they had a Halo on a MotoGP bike and they rolled the bike. It would just it would roll down the track.
The closed cockpit.
Could Bowling Green host a professional series?
I've raced there, yeah.
Could they host professional series?
I think you could okay, so it's one of those tracks that you can tell it's really meant for testing. It's really just a testing track, which is what it is for like the Nissan GTR tested there. Corvettes always test there. Obviously, it's the Corvette Museum.
Yeah.
But that track, what I think's funny about it is the layout. I think would produce amazing IMSA racing or IndyCar racing. But it's one of those, just like I think
Kitty Boy says it's a club track.
Just like I think Pittsburgh International Racing Complex would have great racing, but like you said, club track. But what I'm thinking is if there was good access for spectators, my God, that'd be.
Didn't they build a track in Owensboro that they didn't finish?
No idea.
There's a track in like Kentucky where they didn't finish it.
But if you've ever seen NCM or Pittsburgh International Race Complex, I've raced both that, and they're both.
Trucks need to go back to Hickory Speedway. Does Hickory Speedway even exist anymore?
I don't know. I think, what's funny is I'm pretty sure, if you've ever been to VIR, that always feels like a club track, but it's not.
Yeah.
There's not that many stands.
And that's
a ton of people show up, and there's not a ton of stands.
The funny thing about
VIR is a club track.
The funny thing about VIR is that the people who say like, oh, Nazareth, they'll never bring Nazareth back. It's like, go look at the videos of what VIR looked like a couple of years ago. It's like
a long time ago.
That was like 20 years ago, but it closed in the 50s. It was and they rebuilt it in the 90s. Yeah. So, if Nazareth sits around there for another 40 years, Hickory's still around. I need more thrown shoes.
VIR should definitely be on your list of places to go.
VIR. The problem is I think they run a lot of those IMSA races on like IndyCar weekends on races that.
It's a GT race too, which by the way, prototype should be there.
Is there a possibility of IndyCar coming to do a round in Australia? They talked about it. They talked about going back to Gold Coast, but
Now everything's up there.
Pittsburgh is a nice layout. They need a few things to do to bring it up to a professional standard.
I've
never been to Pittsburgh, so I don't know.
I know they did a Moto America event there, but they definitely need more stands, more things to make it an actual event.
I didn't think Zandvoort would come back to F1. Well, currently it's not coming back to Formula One.
Pittsburgh, I don't think you can add stands because like the back half of Pittsburgh is like wooded area. I mean, they could if they put a bunch of money into it, but I mean, hey.
Yeah, but that's the key.
Then who would show up because it is in the middle of like BFD.
I thought Penske said they aren't going to focus on international races. No, I mean they're not. But if
it's not a Penske thing, it's a Mark Miles thing.
Yeah, that's a Mark Miles thing. But if Australia comes to them with a big bucket of money, I mean Roger would be.
I don't know if this is controversial or not controversial, but I think the big joke of IndyCar the last years has been everything happening schedule-wise, but then Mark Miles always sitting here saying we need to go international. We need to think about China. Going to China.
They're trying to. What they're trying to do. Well, see, here's the thing. Here's why. Because Champ Car was always looking for the quick buck.
Yeah.
And so up until when Roger bought it, they've been. Mark Miles has been tasked with making sure that bucks.
Mm-hmm.
But the international races now I don't think are very realistic. I mean, it's just pursuing them. I think Roger has the right idea, especially now that he's not worried about getting sanctioning fees. I think promoting American races and making sure the American races work first is the most important for the series. So it's almost 10 o'clock. So this is when I should have been going through security for my flight, but
I'd still have like an hour to,
I'm still waiting for IndyCar to revive Burke Lakefront Airport. Yeah, me too. Lakefront Airport closed down, turned into a racetrack, permanent. They could pair it up with Stadium Super Trucks to go to Adelaide.
If you've never seen a Stadium Super Trucks race, then man,
they were insane at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
Ryan Eversley rolled over and then still raced and sure finished there.
Greg Biffle was fast there.
Yeah.
They did that jump off of turn 7 though was insane. Where they were going,
they jumped on top of a hill.
Yeah, and it was like
they were going so high
over a bridge.
Ari Leindyke was sending it. Ari Leindyke Jr.
They closed the old Montreal airport and made it into a racetrack. Who wants to fly to Cleveland anyway? Aren't
That's
you
what I'm doing
to Cleveland?
right now. Yeah.
You fly out of Cleveland?
Oh, I'm flying to Cleveland. It depends. I just look up.
I thought Columbus was closer to you.
They're the same distance. I can give this away. I live right next to Mid-Ohio. So if anyone knows where Mid-Ohio is, it's literally like an hour from Cleveland.
Yeah, well, you won't find his house. It's way out in the boondocks.
Yeah.
Of course, what isn't out in the boondocks in Mid-Ohio?
You can find my house. You can find his cart.
Yeah.
So
you can find my cart. Hey, maybe if somebody knows how to tune a Briggs 206 engine, break into his house and tune my engine for me.
Yeah, tune his engine.
Yeah. Then leave like your postcard on there, and I'll give you a shout out or something. With real circuit racing getting postponed or canceled, do you think this is a golden opportunity for esports? So I think in the short term, yes. I think in the long term, people once
you got a video plan.
I do have a video plan, but I think the easy way to say this is esports in the short term will gain, but once real sports and real racing comes back, I don't think it's going to sustain itself. Yeah. I think now I don't want to disparage esports by I think it's cool, and I think again, it's a substitute, and that you have to be careful in the esports scene.
After when everything comes back, it'll probably dip really big.
Yeah.
But you think it'll come back after that? After a while?
No, I think they have to be very careful of branding themselves as a replacement for the real thing, because the whole time they've been trying to differentiate themselves from real sports and being like, hey, we're different. Well, now you're being a substitute. Mm-hmm. So people are going to treat you as a substitute when the real thing comes back. So that's my point of contention with the esports versus the real sports thing. Is that right now there's no real sports, and so esports, a lot of people are going to watch esports and participate in esports. But once the real sports come back, they need to be very careful of not branding themselves as a replacement for the real thing, because then you're only going to be New Coke, Yeah. And then when the classic comes back, no one's going to want New Coke anymore. That's my point.
Someone asked top IndyCar tracks you'd want to see.
on the schedule.
Yeah. I'm gonna say
that,
first
that haven't,
VIR.
that haven't been on the
I'm
schedule.
gonna say VIR first. I won't be.
No,
bad.
that'd be dangerous. I think
Nope.
that track would be dangerous.
It'd be fine.
I think that haven't been on the schedule. I'm gonna go with haven't been on the schedule. So because it's so boring for me. I would say Cleveland, Nazareth, Michigan. You know, so
VIR.
I'm gonna try to think of an oval track that IndyCar hasn't been to that I think.
Road Atlanta.
No. No. IndyCar Road Atlanta would be death race. God, IndyCar's been to so many tracks, haven't it?
Yeah, IRL.
Memphis
IRL area.
Motorsports Park would be kind of cool. It's too short.
They came back,
Uh,
Memphis, like.
not Bristol.
You know one thing I'd love to see them come back. Pikes Peak racing there perfectly fine, and that makes me mad. And nobody brings that up ever. Pikes Peak is just sitting there, and it's not abandoned.
Yeah,
It's fine.
well, because they literally have a rule.
Just chilling there.
They literally have a rule that we were going to see some drama there. I was going to move the camera.
World Star.
World Star. Yeah, we lost the news. The news has already said their piece. Yeah, so the Pikes Peak is kind of the same situation as Nazareth, except for they didn't just totally close it down. Memphis is the same length as Richmond. So there you go. So yeah, 7/8 of a mile. They can do that. Memphis is just a flatter Richmond. That means it'd probably be better. But the problem with Richmond is the problem with some of these really short tracks, like again Phoenix, is that it's got two bankings too high. So Indy should come to Europe, race at Mugello. IndyCar at Mugello, I don't know about that. I mean,
I like Mugello.
Mugello's a nice track, but I don't know if the IndyCars would race really well there.
Yeah.
I think in terms of Euro track, I think I'm trying to think of tracks that because sometimes I do this in private cars where I put the Indy cars on tracks that they wouldn't otherwise run. Well, they raced at Zolder. I was going to say Zolder, but they raced at Zolder. So I mean Monza maybe, but Monza probably wouldn't be very good. Monza would be boring. Actually, it'd probably be like a short oval, except for longer. Oh no, they raced at Mexico City. I was gonna say Mexico City would be good. Suzuka, I'll say that. Suzuka.
Yeah.
I'll see Indy cars at Suzuka. There you go. Imola. The old Imola would have been awesome for IndyCar, but I don't know if the new one. New one's too Mickey Mouse now. Lime Rock. IndyCar's at Lime Rock. That's Jetfire's in the gymnasium there. Interlagos would
Chris
be
will
great.
argue for that.
So Interlagos, yes. Interlagos, Suzuka, Fuji.
Dude, if they
The
went,
90s
if
Fuji.
they went to Interlagos, all the IndyCar teams would get robbed, and it wouldn't be good.
Somebody should tell them the IndyCar teams that have a lot of money.
You know how many F1 teams get robbed?
Bernie got robbed.
Yeah.
Bernie Ecclestone.
Interlagos is a dangerous place.
I gotta realize that when you say Bernie these days, people think of Bernie Sanders.
Oh no.
They don't think of Bernie Ecclestone anymore.
Oh no.
$15 an hour. Millionaire then billionaire.
You're gonna just set everyone off.
Well, everybody thinks
Everyone thinks you're a Democrat.
everybody
anyway.
thinks I'm a Bernie bros.
Do a Trump impersonation and just put yourself flat down the middle.
Yeah, well, okay, so I could just pretend to do a debate between Bernie and Trump, since we're not gonna get it anyway.
Oh, yeah.
You get to have Joe Biden. Yay!
Make it about.
Oh,
motorsports.
I'm getting way too close to politics there. I
Yeah,
need to
you are.
stop.
Make it about motorsports.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Motorsports debate. Remember
so I don't even
anybody
know
remember the presidential race on our
What would they? Oh, hey, there we go. Nick Hagee, 199. Hey, David. What about Catalunya?
Catalunya doesn't get enough respect.
I don't like Catalunya.
I like it because it's the F1 track everyone talks about, where it's the most neutral between the cars, between aeros efficiency.
It's boring. It's boring though. It's not got a good layout.
If you ever go to Project Cars, like you said, and do Indy cars and tracks, go to Catalunya.
You know, a track I wish still existed in the form it did in the 70s is Kailami, South Africa, because that track was awesome.
That's on instead, of course,
The old one,
Competitivness.
or the new one. The new Kailami
I
isn't
think it's
very
the new
good.
one. It has to be the new one. It's
Yeah.
GT3.
Yeah. Yeah, the new Catalunya. Yeah, nobody likes Catalunya. The chat disagrees with you.
I don't know. I think it's. I mean, I hate driving it on like F1 games, but I think definitely the layout. I think it's underrated.
Catalunya is dead with that last turn chicane. So people don't like the chicane.
I could see that. Well, there's a lot of tracks like that in F1 where it's like they kill it with chicane.
Can you say something about a dirt track? What about a dirt track? Bank the final turn. Ooh, that'd be interesting. Bank the final turn of Catalunya like 10 degrees.
Yeah.
So essentially, you want to make it.
That final corner is awful.
So essentially, what if you turned that whole? So if you banked.
I think
So- so imagine
I think a lot of people are seeing the banked F1 corner.
Well, so imagine if you came down. So obviously you're doing that third sector. You have that Mickey Mouse thing after the chicane. You come down straight away over the crest of that hill. And instead of going into that little chicane, you come into a bank corner which leads all the way to the front straightaway. So essentially, you remake the Peritata from
Any
Old
F1
Dome.
track is gonna have a Mickey Mouse section. It's just awful.
Thanks, Herman.
Yeah.
Herman Tilke.
Well, is Catalunya even a
Zanford
Herman Tilke
added
track?
Huh?
Is it Barcelona a Herman Tilke track?
It may not be, but
'Cause I think that's
he
an
definitely.
older track.
But they redesigned some of the track. So and it was like recently. It'd be like the NGP that all crashed in the last banked corner. Maybe. I mean, the thing about F1 at Indy. Well, then again, yeah. The thing about F1 at Indy is they had a really big. I mean, before they were essentially running half the oval on that F1.
Please report any suspicious items or behavior.
I heard something about a dirt track. I make dirt content.
He does.
I like dirt racing.
I'm
wanted
really
to go
sorry
this week.
about St. Pete. This is EatBoy78 says, I'm really sorry about St. Pete. It's heartbreaking that people spent so much time and money to get there for it to only be canceled. I hope the season starts soon. I think it's starting in May at Indianapolis. Who else thought the M Sport WRC car catch fire today? Well, I think
Some motorsport stuff.
yeah. New England has two very solid road tracks that are restricted to club tracks. It's a waste. Well, that's New England.
Not wrong.
Sorry.
It's not wrong. Can we talk about how IndyCar in the Northeast is getting boned this year?
Yeah, it's the first time there hasn't been a Northeastern IndyCar race since like ever.
Yeah.
And here's the thing is that like if you look at the IndyCar, the history of IndyCar racing in the Northeast, it's a boulevard of broken dreams. Like when they got rid of Pocono, I listed all of the tracks that were like within the last 30 or 40 years that had been that had a race and lost a race, and it's a big list.
I got in an argument with Chris, really with GT, our dude, and we got in a big argument about how the Northeast has 0 races and how people want to bring back Cleveland, and he's arguing with it's kind of like a slap in the face to say let's bring back Cleveland when IndyCar has all of the Midwest pretty much covered when there's not a race in the Northeast. So what do you think? Here's my question.
Because the fans are
Here's the
based in
question I'm going
Mid-East.
to put out there. Here's the question I'm going to put out there. Do you think what should IndyCar put first? Getting a race in the Northeast or adding another race in the Midwest if it's possible? Like say a racing because my argument is
Midwest is
let
a
me just put
guarantee.
my argument out first.
Okay.
Indy and like race at Cleveland, I think that's an instant. That's schedule that. That's an instant success.
Slam dunk.
That's a slam dunk. If you go in the Northeast, then that's skeptical on whether you're going to get a return. What's going to happen?
The
So what do
problem
you
is
think?
you also screwed the mid when they're talking about Pocono getting canceled. People were like, "I'm sick of this. I'm done," because they supported Nazareth, they supported Watkins Glen before they stopped coming, and you saw that at Pocono and
Yeah.
Watkins Glen. Like the crowds weren't what they were the first couple times they were there. Now, and then that's to your point. I think absolutely, if you do a race in the Midwest, that was the thing. There were so many people in Mid Ohio. I'm like, why couldn't
Yeah.
you do a race at Cleveland?
Yeah,
Like
see.
it's if
People are like, well, Ohio already has Mid Ohio. I mean, enough people show up that they go to
two
both.
races at Indianapolis. There's two races at one track in
Yeah.
the same month in the schedule. So I don't want to hear that.
I think a lot of
crap.
people in the Northeast are sitting, saying, hey, we don't have a single race, so so what? Indy has 2 races. Mid Ohio, Ohio might have 2. But I think the Midwest generates so many fans. Like you look at Gateway first year after that,
Yeah.
that was an instant success.
They also promoted the hell out of it, though.
Even places like Iowa, which should be considered Midwest, gets a good amount of people for what.
But
it
I
is.
will also say this: if a race like Cleveland came back, I would definitely hype the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And obviously that's bias, no doubt about it, because I want that event. I would want that event to succeed. But thank you, Joe, for the $1.99. Didn't ask a question, but I appreciate that, Joe. Thank you.
I don't think people wanting a race like Cleveland in the Midwest attracts people wanting a race like Watkins Glen or Pocono.
Well, no, I don't think it takes away from that. I think what people are worried about in the Midwest, they're like, oh, well, it might take away from the Mid Ohio or Detroit. It's like, nah, I don't think so, because especially if you scheduled it in a different part of the season.
Christian Hansen,
If you
please pick up the nearest courtesy
If you
customer.
schedule Cleveland in
Christian
September, and you schedule Mid Ohio in July, I think many people would go to. I mean, how many Colts games do people? You know, it's like in the same stadium. So if there's IndyCar fans in Ohio and you have 2 IndyCar races in Ohio, why wouldn't they go to both? Especially if you space them out where it's reasonable that you could buy an $80 ticket twice in 1 year. You know, so to me that argument doesn't hold any water. Now, I mean, obviously there's a whole lot of other
Chris
concerns.
said, I can go to NASCAR, NHRA, IMSA, and the Northeast. Closest IndyCar raceway is 8 hours in Canada.
Well, I mean, but the problem is, where do you run? Because they burned their bridge with Loudon. They, I guess
That was one thing he said was, you look at the crowd from Loudon in 2011. My God, that was huge.
But the problem is they laid an egg.
That was pretty much the same amount of people that goes to Iowa. But it was a bigger stand, so it didn't look like as much.
They could go back to Kentucky. They could. I know a lot of people have wanted that.
I
But
would enjoy that.
the problem with Kentucky is I would be worried that they Vegas that track because they raised the banking in 1 and 2, and there's the they also made the inside wall. They moved the inside wall up on the inside. So I don't know if it's safe for Indy cars anymore, to be honest with you. So
When was IndyCar at its best? Early, mid-90s?
you could say the 90s or you could say the 60s. I kind of go back and forth on that.
I enjoy the late 80s.
The problem with the late 80s was there wasn't enough competitive cars. So the big issue with the 80s was, especially the late 80s, was that was when the Chevy Ilmore came in, and the Chevy Ilmore was limited on who could get it. So you would have
Courtesy phone.
and they would also give a Chevy Ilmore to AJ. AJ wouldn't try anymore, so it was like they wasted the slot. So you'd have like Al Jr., Michael Andretti, Mario, and then the 3 Penske cars, whoever was driving those. And that would be who could win the race. And then you'd have everybody else would be fighting for the scraps at the back. The 90s, you had 3 or 4 competitive engines. And then when you get to Indianapolis, the Buicks would be fast in qualifying and maybe they could compete in the first 50 laps, but they wouldn't be there at the end. But you at least had
I think 90 or 92 kind of like, well, for like seasons-wise, kind of speaks out to me here. Anybody see the Ricky Rudd shirt?
You saw the Ricky Rudd shirt.
Yeah, get a Ricky Rudd shirt.
Yeah. That's pretty, I don't know if that's like ironic, but
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
it's pretty cool regardless. That gets my boomer mind going. San Air is basically a home track level facility. Yeah, so I actually was researching San Air. I don't even know why. It may have been because I was watching some NHRA drag racing videos, but I looked at San Air, and San Air now doesn't even have the grandstands anymore. So because they used to have grandstands in the 80s when the kart ran there, but that was 30 years ago now that we're talking about grandstands in San Air.
Random, I was going to point out, just hit 1,400 subscribers.
1,400 subscribers, man.
Yeah.
So
So
you
anyone
gained
watching right now, subscribe to my channel.
So this man gained.
Thank you guys so much.
This man gained 600 followers and there's 600 subscribers on YouTube in a day.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
It just gives me more motivation to make more content, which is, we're going to have a lot of time to make content now.
Yeah. So
A
I would
little
say
mini off-season here.
we probably got about 15. I'd say 15 to 40 minutes that we can go until I probably need to get in the security line.
Have you checked anything to see what time your delay is?
I guess I could go. Yeah. I'll go because this is arrivals. I'll go find departures. Yeah. Keep them entertained for a couple minutes.
You're just leaving? Okay. This is the Racing Nation TV live stream for a few minutes here while he checks the departures. We'll check out the question. Rick Mears, the best sneaker driver. I'm an Ohio guy. Bobby Rahal is my guy. Went to Cleveland GD back. Yeah, he's an Ohio guy. I'm literally living 15 minutes from Mid Ohio. That's the Cleveland GP is
Still
the
12,
best.
18. Okay. Still taking off 12, 18.
It was my channel for a couple minutes there.
Yeah, there you go.
It was mine. AR, he agrees.
Huck Finn or Tom Sawyer? I feel like Tom Sawyer is the one you need to.
Tom Sawyer, because the song by Rush is great.
Boy, I play this game called All Pro Football 2K8, which is the last 2K football game until 2 years from now. But the only song that's in the game that they ever play is like the Tom Sawyer song from Rush, and it's really annoying.
You know, we could play. We could do a video where we play Madden against each other if you got Madden.
I don't want to. I'm not buying Mevin Teen, the one with Rob Gronkowski.
We could play that.
Maybe. Joe Quat. What about bringing back the Meadowlands in New Jersey? So the Meadowlands. Apparently, the track still exists. I went to WrestleMania there last year.
Yeah, you were trying to find places.
I was
where
trying to find the track, but the problem is the track is at what they call the IZOD Center, which is a
IZOD.
IZOD, which is the soccer stadium, and so the actual WrestleMania was in Giant Stadium. Oh, hey, I just got a DM from Braden Eves, USF 2000 champion, now racing in Indy Pro 2000. So hi, Braden, if you're watching. Nick Burnett, Cleveland GP, question mark. Yes. I think the answer is yes to that.
Big yes.
Yeah, that's a big yes.
Love Ohio.
What was I
OH.
talking about? I got distracted by two things.
Metal.
We placed a Giant Stadium, and so where we parked for WrestleMania was on the other side. So it wasn't on the side that the IZOD Center was on. It was on the side that Giant Stadium was on.
Oh shit. You think that F1 could do what WC has done, which is super season, if F1 doesn't start until June?
No, I think they need to do a regular season. I think the super season is stupid.
IndyCar to Pikes Peak hill climb.
Well, that used to be part of the world. That used to be part of the
Well, we
championship.
talked about the Pikes Peak Oval.
If IndyCar goes to New Jersey, is there a real road course out there? Yeah, New Jersey Motorsports Park, but that's a club track.
That's club track.
It doesn't.
Can't
It doesn't
there,
have the amenities. Though Grand Am ran there, but
Yeah.
that was when Grand Am couldn't get a crowd to save their life. So
Wasn't that one like the Grand Am Championship?
DPs.
Yeah.
They ran there-
Lime Rock, I'm thinking of.
they ran,
always had the championship.
So New Jersey Motorsports Park was the race before Indianapolis in like 2012. Petty, Earnhardt, or Johnson? No cop outs about the era. Who's the most impressive? Earnhardt. I think Earnhardt for sure.
I'm going back to that.
I would love to see. I mean, I would have loved to see, and it's so strange because they only were like a year apart.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt and Jimmy Johnson never raced each other. So
Ain't going back to that, no.
I think I don't want to disrespect Richard Petty, but I think if you put the three of them in a race in their prime, yeah, it's kind of like the four-time
But it's like, they're all 7-time champions. They're
Pearson
all pure.
or Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon.
I think I would also take Jeff, and that's again disrespect to David Pearson.
That also could be biased.
And Jeff would,
because
by the
it's our
way,
generation.
Jeff would probably say David Pearson.
Yeah. But
but I
also
think-
be our generational disc.
But I think '98 NASCAR race, Gordon was unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
Gordon was so good. He destroyed the field. And you're looking at a field that includes Earnhardt,
I think that's also
Terry Labonte.
That's also Ray Evernham though. Ray Evernham did a little stuff.
Sure, but you could say, Dale Inman was
Ray Evernham was a genius. Well, okay, Richard was with Dale Inman.
Manning or Brady.
Richard was with Inman most of his career, but Jeff Gordon never won a championship without Ray Evernham. Think about that.
Well, it depends how you count the championships.
Yeah, you're right, but
He would have won in 2007 and 2014. He would have been a 7-time champion if they ran the regular.
tell me about 2009, 2010, 2012.
But I mean, if you're
20.
just saying, well, it's the crew chief, then you can brush away Jimmy Johnson's accomplishments because you go, oh well, Chad Knaus.
He hasn't won without checking us.
He's also old though. You have to realize
That too,
he
but-
wasn't winning with Chad Knaus though in the later years, in the last couple of years.
I don't think I'm disagreeing with you. I think I'm just putting out arguments. I'm just putting out a point.
NASCAR was really different, but Pearson won championships and won 105 races on that entire schedule. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be if you put David Pearson and Jeff Gordon in equal cars, both in their prime, they'd probably be side by side in the finish.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
I see IndyCar on dirt.
Don't tell
Is
my
that
buddy who Casey Atwood fan Ray Evernham is a genius. She will rant on you hard if you just say that to her. Well,
Oh,
yeah. See, that is the thing too. If he was a genius, then why wasn't? Because even Stacey Compton looked better than he was with Chad Knaus.
Mhm.
So I think that's a good point because I think if it was really that much of a difference.
oh, it was Ultimate Dragon. I thought that was going to turn into like an Aaron Crocker story.
No, there's a whole different story. Yeah, maybe I've been part of it too. You never know.
IndyCar on dirt. Is that Robin Miller?
It sounds like Rob Miller. You can take these guys to Terre Haute. Take
You know,
them to
we
Terre
got
Haute.
a couple years ago. We got Gabby Chavez out on the dirt. And
No,
he
no,
looked
he
very good.
No,
I'm a fan.
no. He got a midget at the speedrome.
Oh, right. All I said was I got him on dirt, though.
He didn't run on dirt, though. Gabby never ran on dirt.
Okay.
Ferrucci did.
I'm not as Midwestern as I think I said. Because in
Oh.
Ohio, there's no asphalt.
We've
sprint car
we've
racing.
frozen again.
In Ohio, there's no asphalt. Sprint car racing. It's all dirt.
Look at that face. Look at that face. Frozen face of fear.
Oh.
IndyCar at Martinsville. Done in R Factor. It's not fun. Chili Bowl. What are your guys' thoughts on NOLA? That was the worst race ever.
Yeah.
I wish I would have had
Examples of IndyCar racing at club tracks.
I wish I would have been doing what I do now when that happened.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I would have lit them up. I was so mad at watching that race. It would have been an amazing
I
race.
was actually somewhere in Columbus, I think, just drive. I wasn't able to sit down and watch the race. I remember when I watched the replay, I was so confused. What the heck?
What an awful race that was. It wasn't even a race; it was a farce.
I want to ask Michael Cannon. about that
$5
race.
from Nick Burno, Junior Smoke. Excuse me.
It's not getting sick.
Nope. Junior Smoke, Jordan Taylor, Jan Magnuson, and a C8 in IMSA would be cool to see. I agree.
Tony Stewart in a C8.
I think Tony Stewart. Oh, nope, we don't want to do that. Almost banned somebody. I didn't mean to.
I think the meme would be if Tony
David
Stewart-
Lane in the Chili Bowl. That would be cool. Anybody got a midget I can drive?
That's my dream. That's my thing.
I'll still do it though.
But if you make it in the Chili Bowl before I do, I will be
I'd
very
be
jealous.
at the back of the F.
Very
main.
sad.
See, here's the thing about. So if I did the Chili Bowl, I would need like a test day. I would not go there and having not sat.
I
in the
would
car.
go there no testing. You get a chance to do it, you're gonna take it.
No, because what would happen would be I would end up in hot laps with like Sammy Swindell and
But if I get a chance to do it, no testing, I'm doing it. You never know if you're gonna get it.
no,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that because I respect the guys. I would be in hot laps with Sammy Swindell and Chris Bell and Ryan Newman and all these people, and I would not want to be that guy who
I'm a
causes
little-
them to have their hot laps ruined because I'm slow.
I'm
That
a
would-
little more.
I respect those guys. too much.
I think I respect them too, but I think
$2
I'm a
from
little bit more-
Smooth
I would do it.
Really enjoy each of you. Enjoy Patreon as well. Yes, thank you. I know you're one of the Patreon supporters. In fact, one of the two. David Land, is AutoX still happening?
Autocross.
Yeah, I mean, you're the guy who knows about that. I would assume they would have canceled at the moment, right?
Maybe.
So I don't know. I mean, we can't. That can be because nothing else is happening.
Plus, if the autocross is in Ohio, then come by the shop and check things out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think NASCAR?
Yeah, that's from Mr. Anti-Ant. No. Well, they might run it later in the year, but the problem with NASCAR is that the schedule is too compressed.
One thing, did you hear that the Busch? I heard someone Daytona Road Course. Did you hear the Busch Clash is going to be with the 20 this year's cars?
Yeah, I forgot. So that was in that news.
Because I remember hearing you say that it was going to be.
Yeah, I missed because that was one of. So that was the news day where literally everything broke.
Yeah.
And that was just something that they never. That was never brought
I was
up.
here. I was listening to. I
Delayed.
Yeah, we're
In
delayed
fact-
now.
In fact, we're getting to the point where we're getting kind of close to where I'm going to be checking out here pretty soon. We'll go for a couple more minutes because I don't need to be sitting.
But I was listening on Sirius, and they were talking. Crew chiefs were talking about how literally for the Clash.
Because my takeoff is at 12:18. So
they're going to take their Charlotte Roval cars and just take them to the Clash next year. That's what they're doing, which makes it easier for everyone.
yeah.
And they think that the next gen car, the debut of it should be at the biggest race of the year, the Daytona 500. What do you think about that?
So the real important thing about the Clash is that the Clash will not be a test. Is that the teams were looking for fuel mileage data for the 500. So running it with the old cars, on the road course, no one's going to get any data out of that. That's really usable for the 500. So it means I think there will actually be a race. They will race the entire distance. I'd kind of like to see them not run the chicane, like run an unrestricted, essentially an unrestricted lap, because maybe you can have the speed slow enough that you can maybe run 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, essentially flat out without being dangerous. I don't know.
Would you cover the Chili Bowl? So one of my things that I want to bring this up. I want to bring this up because so when I started doing like regular videos this year, I've had YouTube for since 20 2012, but I started doing regular content, and the first thing I did was I did a video, recap the Chili Bowl the entire week, and if we get the opportunity to go.
The debut would technically be the duels.
Yeah, that is true. But
Anything is a possibility.
I know you don't go to a lot of dirt stuff or cover it on your channel, which is
But
what
it's
I'm
not-
trying to
it's
do.
not-
but still.
But it's not that complicated. I mean, it wouldn't be that complicated to figure out.
Yes.
I mean, the thing would be, I wouldn't be able to be an expert. So I would be able to observe it. I probably need someone like you, or maybe another driver who maybe is taking part of it. I mean, I know Bird Racing has followed me on Twitter, so maybe we could get James Davison or somebody if he's
I
running
mean,
it.
the
too.
Birds are nice people. Maybe they'd be happy for you to do some content. For them.
Yeah, that would be someone that I would reach out. That's a year away. So
Well, someone asked.
IndyCar to the Charlotte
Very
Roval,
passionate.
that may happen. The IndyCar to the Charlotte Roval may happen
May
eventually. Not in the foreseeable future, it doesn't seem like.
The sound of midgets in the building.
Or Top Fuel. I haven't seen midgets in a building. I have seen Top Fuel.
The Chili Bowl is something like dirt racing. Bring to my channel and bring more onto this platform.
Yeah, and I think that's a good, because I've said to you about that, is that like one of the things that on YouTube you can be opportunistic. You can try to do things that people haven't done before, or And I said this in fact, we had dinner with Braden Eves, who is of course the USF 2000 champion, because we are still going to do some content with him in the future. But did he?
Yeah.
One of the things I said to Braden was, because he was telling me about things he was searching for and couldn't find anything about. And I'm like, okay, so when you're a content creator, that's the opportunity. When you're searching for things you can't find them, humans are 92% the same, right? So somebody else is probably searching for that, and it's probably not just like 2 or 3 people. It's probably a lot of people. So, something, especially because dirt racing, there's, it's not like it's unsustainable. There's a lot of people passionate about it. Even if they're just competitors, if you get 500 competitors that show up at a race, and you get half of those to watch your video right off the bat, it's 250 views. So, just something to think about, of course.
I think this live stream thing's something we could do more often.
Probably. I mean, that's something that
Even without watching something, just doing a live stream, and have a drive.
I mean, again, we're all going to not be very busy for the next 3 weeks in terms of having to travel. Everybody's going to be trapped in their houses to a certain extent. So, David, you deserve a shot at the free 100. Okay, let's cool our jets on that a little bit. I would love an opportunity to try like a USF 2000 car. I think if that opportunity ever presents itself, I would
See you in a 305, like any sprint car in the dirt.
I'll do a midget. I wouldn't want to do a wing sprint. That'd scare the shit out of me. I wouldn't want to do that.
I would.
I mean, maybe I would. I'm not going to say no, but I would have to really talk myself into it. I would really have to talk myself into it. I mean, again, I would never say no. See, here's the thing. I would never say no, because I've always said that. When people come to me with opportunities, like with Charles Ante, when he was like, hey, you want to drive a Formula Ford? I'm like, well, I'm not going to say no, but I'm skeptical about this whole thing. So I'm like, do this for me for free? I'm like...
Go subscribe to Charles Ante.
Yeah, go subscribe to Charles Ante. Obviously, he didn't have quite... And I think I think he did get value that he was looking for out of that, because... he's looking to grow a brand, and unfortunately for guys like him, he's not going to be able to race for a while. And he's, a part of the brand was literally just,
I hear this a lot. When people do sponsorships and things, but it's like, when things like that happen, I mean, it's not a joke. If they see a return, and it really helps everybody involved, So, I know when I'm watching stuff and I see stuff like that, then something happened. It's like racing sponsorship. When you see like Velveeta on a car, you go buy Velveeta.
Nick Burnout in touch with us, but do you want to have a meeting this week to discuss autocross? I guess
We have a mini off season.
Yeah, we do have a mini off season, so yeah, we should be talking about that pretty soon. Hi, Aaron. We're doing okay. I mean, we've been better, I think.
Yeah, we've been better.
Someone
said, I think this is bias. He said the Formula Ford video was the best he's seen. This is bias.
I wouldn't say it's the best.
I think the Battle of the Brickyard one was the best.
Well, that was an actual race, so there was a little bit different. It was a different style of video. So the
first. It was the first. I thought the whole racing and Indy aspect.
it's
I
cool.
can still watch
It's a
that
cool
video.
story.
I still watch that video over.
It's
and
a
over.
cool scene. I mean, yeah, and there's no doubt. I mean, racing at Indy is very glamorous versus going out in the desert and taking a driver's school test. But to me, both were just or as equally as important
Yeah.
in life. To as me as a person, like I mean, that is like the deal, And so,
I love
but
the
certainly,
Ford video because I love Charles Anthony.
but I think those two videos go great together because you see like, hey, so that's kind of something that's important to
By
me.
the way, you get more time now to put up something about last year's Brickyard.
There's not really enough. Nobody was shooting it. I didn't
Did
have
anybody notice that he didn't have a video up of last year's Brickyard?
I just streamed there, and I streamed my lap of the speedway. But yeah, it was tough because for some reason nobody showed up. That was before I had Patreon, so I couldn't pay a cameraman.
Yeah.
So pretty much everything had to be shot between making adjustments to the car, and I was, look, I was there to try to compete, and so and if we're gonna really trigger you here is that I'm a very competitive person. I don't know if people know this, but when if I'm entered in a race, even if to me, I was intensely focused that entire weekend. I was just trying to do, hit my marks, do my best job, and unfortunately, we broke the chain in the last race. And I was doing pretty well. I think I was running up in the top 30. I was probably because I was working with a guy too. I hooked up with somebody who was really pushing me well, and we were coming because that was right when everybody's starting to spread out. And I was getting pushed, and we were starting to turn some really fast lap times together. And we were catching the pack in front of us, which was like 5 or 6 cars.
I feel I'm the same way.
We would have been like 25th by the end of the race.
I'm the same way. I've just done this long enough to where when a chain breaks or something, yeah, I'm pissed off.
It crushed me.
But it's like there's nothing you can do about it. I've done this long enough. I've had that happen. It's like
okay, boomer.
Yeah, I've been racing since I was 4. You have to understand that.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, I think you have to have. I mean, I'm not criticizing you, but I think you have to have some of that. What happens when Lewis Hamilton breaks down? He's been racing since he was 4. What happens when Lewis Hamilton breaks down? He throws a freaking fit.
Yeah.
Because he's a winner, So
Kyle Busch does, yeah.
Yeah. Kyle Busch is one of the worst. That's why people hate him. But to me, that's what wins.
I'm excited to get out there this year for karting if that happens.
Well, it will happen. I have no doubt that everybody's going to get a race again this year. I think, it's just going to be whether or not we can actually.
It's time to look for a sponsorship.
That's true. Yeah, that's that's kind of the funny thing about all this is that there's definitely time to do things now that we didn't have previously. Kyle Busch losing is hilarious. Well,
it's almost 10:40.
Yeah. So it's probably about time. I guess we'll keep this going for like 3 more minutes.
We're gonna probably separate. I'm gonna go do the bags thing, and then depending on what happens for each of us, we might meet back up at the other terminal.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, we might. Who knows?
Well, we probably won't be able to stream again because again, my flight takes off in an hour and 30 minutes, and I don't know how long it'll take to get through security.
I would definitely count on my channel doing a live stream. Like this, maybe we get you on, maybe. And
well, that's something I'll think about on the plane ride back.
I know, but I'm just saying. Well, not like today.
Y'all still going? Going where?
We're still streaming.
Oh yeah. Airport, what's it like? It's funny. I only started flying like 2 or 3 years ago.
Depends on the day. I've flown more in the last year than I have in my life.
Yeah.
Just doing so much. I went to California.
It's buffering a lot on the streaming. Well, that might be. You might have to refresh it. But Armani DePaul, how's the apocalypse? That's all right. It's been worse.
Oh, my bad.
What are you doing? Why do you do this?
What's Ryan doing?
Ryan? Airport Wi-Fi. No, we're not on the airport Wi-Fi. I'm on 4G because the airport Wi-Fi is actually worse than the 4G.
Do you have Verizon?
Yeah, Verizon.
Oh. Yeah. I was going to make fun of you, didn't, so.
Verizon. I'm going to stick. I thought it was, but
they're back.
They stuck around. Any chance the Indy 500 gets posted? I think there's definitely a chance.
Everything at power.
They can't.
They're definitely not running it without fans.
Yeah, that's definitely a no-go. That would be a disaster.
That's not.
Because so much of the revenue comes from the ticket sales.
Yeah.
So airport Wi-Fi is better than McDonald's Wi-Fi. Thank you, John. We will try to travel as safe as we can. That's for sure. Labor Day Indy 500? I hope not. I mean, I don't.
I think it's scary. We already flew here. We've been here. We've been places. So it's gonna. We're gonna.
I'm not worried about. See, here's the thing. We're just gonna. I mean, I'm gonna try to quarantine myself as best I can. I mean, I don't have too many. I don't live with any elderly family members, so that's something to. I think for the most part, it's young. It's so. The thing that this really affects badly are young people, people with bad immune systems, and people over the age of 7. So I'm not regularly in contact with people who are over the age of 70. So I'm just going to try not to go out in public too much over the next couple of weeks and just try to minimize my contact with the rest of people. And there's only so much you can do, and make content. That's something again to kind of end on is that it's important to me to continue to commit to the content for you guys.
It's just crazy to think of the timing of all this. Like seriously, like before we came out, like I don't know if your experience, but I was like, bad cabin fever. Like I wanted to get out here so bad, to get out, get outside.
And I wasn't even thinking about the possibility that this thing was going to get canceled.
Yeah, me too.
I thought for sure. I was like, you know what? I'm like, well, see, that was what I was thinking. I was like, I'm just going to make sure that this is good stuff. And all I was thinking about was how can I make this content good, and that's all I focused on. We got here Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday things looked very good. Thursday. Well,
Wednesday
night was when it started.
Literally the first day we were here, that night was when things
we were at a steakhouse, we had dinner, and we were talking the whole time, we were checking our phones, we came out, and it was like, oh, the NBA season's canceled. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah, so we were at dinner, and like, talking about things, and things were thinking. I'm probably going to do a video talking about the story of our weekend.
I think you should do that, absolutely. I think that'd be a fun, cool thing to do.
Just, and then also in a couple years when we look back, I want to talk about while it's fresh, so we can look back and be like, that's exactly how it was when somebody was there.
Yep. Okay, it's 10:41. I should probably go get through security because my flight leaves 12:18. Thanks everyone for coming out. I know it. This was something to keep me entertained for a little while, and I hope you were at least entertained a little bit too. Have you talked to Robin Miller? No, I haven't. I don't think I've ever talked to Robin Miller.
Wish.
Yeah. We got a lot of things coming.
A lot of things to do.
Yeah, and so it's a bad time to be a race fan, but a good time to be a YouTuber because there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of opportunities.
Not inherently great, but better.
Yeah, and again, we'll try to keep you guys entertained. We're gonna, his channel obviously just got monetized. There's like 600 extra subscribers he's gotten, so it's cool. It's exciting.
Thanks, guys. If anyone watching is subscribed, thank you so much. Do you know how much it means to me? It's just absolutely insane.
All right. See you, everybody. How do I... No, see, I've got to be careful.
I do this every time.
I do this every time. So I think... Is it the X button?
Yeah, maybe.
So, Ryan, subscribe. So, thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Hit the X button. Yes. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Okay. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.